I just got back from a run, guys, from Regent's Park and Primrose Hill, and I wrote all this down so it's fresh from my experience. Just come home, had a shower. I've got a client in and now, I can't wait. Phil, who's doing my 1-year program, but I'll speak about that in another video. So I wrote this down to inspire people and help people, not just to start running, even though that would make me really happy, even if one person watched this video, and if they just went for one run, that would be great. But to give people confidence and to give you, or at least give you the opportunity for you to experience it for yourself, to get all the things that I'm getting. So let's see what I wrote. I'm looking forward to reading this. First time reading it, I just wrote it straight away. Excuse me. So get my breath. My adrenaline, my excitement is still pumping through my body. And the coffee as well. I'm so excited. You know, it's true what my dad said. When you get to a certain level of fitness, it's hard to keep still. And that's not a negative thing, because you feel so good, so energetic. It's so fascinating how running and the mind go hand in hand. Most people don't run because they can't get past the mental barriers of getting started and going through the mental and emotional stress that you have to experience, especially when you first start out with running, when you're unfit and you're out of shape. Running is another thing like public speaking and sales, in that everyone knows about it, but the vast majority of people won't do it because they're afraid of failing and feeling uncomfortable. It's crazy how the thing that we can initially hate becomes the very thing that we grow to love if we fully commit to it. Hence running, public speaking, facing fear, anything that challenges you. For me, running is a metaphor for winning. I want to win in life. I want to help you watching this video or reading this post to win. Losing weight is winning. Completing a run is winning. Running consistently is winning. Running until you feel nauseous or sick is winning. Running gives you confidence. Running calms anxiety and negative thoughts and emotions. Running helps you to overcome social anxiety. Running makes you fitter and stronger. Running makes you feel more connected to yourself and others. The hardest part of running, or any habit that you're attempting to successfully build, is the start, because there's so much fear and resistance. It requires a lot of hard work, which means a lot of patience, which is probably the hardest human quality to master. People are impatient. Anything that takes 6 months or a year will put most people off from doing it. The more you run, the more you begin to understand your mind and your body more. You begin to get in touch with the deeper aspect of who you are and what you're capable of achieving if you put your mind to it. Truth be known, I used to hate running when I was a kid because I hated feeling fatigued. I would get scared, I'd start panicking, and I would feel like getting sick because I felt out of control, and I associated this feeling of failure and feeling like a permanent failure, which I now know is completely not the truth. It is completely the opposite. I have now developed new tools to stay calm when I get into that situation of feeling stressed, fatigued, anxious, and I'm continuing to get better at each and every one I complete. So I could go on and on. I kind of stopped there. So, you know, that's how I felt today after the run, and that's how I've been continuing to feel. And I think what I'm trying to say, and this is another thing I'm learning about the running really starts to help you to articulate your feelings, you know, your positive feelings, your negative. For me, it's all positive. I absolutely love it. And as I said in this post, and it's not a word that I like to use, but when I was younger, I hated running. You know, I hated public speaking. Anything where I could be judged, anything where people could laugh at me or humiliate me, because those things happened when I was younger. But my own interpretation, I was my own worst enemy, more than anyone who judged me, anyone who bullied me, or even if I was paranoid that people were thinking that when often they weren't. So running really helps you to overcome these demons, these issues, and I love it. I just enjoy it. It helps me in every area of my life. It really does, because it teaches you how to get better mentally and emotionally. You learn, and making progress gives you so much confidence. And I want to add this. I'm going to do a separate video, but I've got to get this out now. A lot of people don't believe in themselves, right? And I was one of them. And I understand, like, people say things like, you need to believe in yourself. And it's like, that's true. That's obvious, but people still don't. It's not that easy. People don't know how to believe in themselves. They're banging their head against the brick wall. They've watched hours of podcast shows. They've watched thousands of YouTube videos. They've been told that. Now, from my experience, I'm going to tell you how to build belief, because I've done it, and I believe in myself, and I believe in you if you follow this. Now, this is my own thing, so I'm not forcing it, but it's your choice. Number one, fundamentally, my belief comes from my faith in God, and I realize that more and more. Sometimes I'm scared to say it because it's so truthful, but that's the truth. My belief, like, fundamentally. But on a human level, the practicalities, we live in this world, we're human, we have a massive potential, we've got limitations, of course. Belief comes from hard work. If you don't, look, let me give you an example. If you're a lazy person right now, and I'm not knocking you or judging you, I've been there, we're going to change it. If you don't clean your apartment, if you're lazy and you can't clean your apartment because you're stressed and your anxiety, which I can understand, you're not going to believe that you can become a millionaire. You're not going to believe you can get the right relationship. You're not going to believe that you can be successful. You're not going to believe that you can inspire people, because your habits are negative. You're lacking character. You're practicing the opposite. So you can't build belief based on laziness, a lack of hard work, a lack of courage. Belief on a human level, aside from the belief from God, which is on a different level, I'll come back to that, has to be built. You can't lie about it. So I can say, I believe in myself 100% because I'm getting results in my life, not just for me, but for my clients, and things that some people might not think are a big deal for me. Having a breakthrough, my prayer, my discipline, my gratitude, my attitude, my ability to deal with difficult days and appreciate the good days, losing weight. I believe that I can lose weight because I've physically lost 35 pounds. But I didn't believe that a few years ago when I was lazy and stuck. So belief comes through hard work. The harder you work, the luckier you become because you earn it, and the more confidence you gain. You gain confidence and self-belief through the work that you put in. Now, it's hard to explain like this, even though a lot of you, I hope you'll get it. Some of you will, some of you won't. You have to experience it through your own efforts, through your own labor. Through an incredible work ethic, and through that work ethic, when you get results. See, people find it hard to believe in themselves because they don't have the results right now. So if I say to you, I lost 35 pounds, I was in a mental hospital, I had a breakdown, I lost everything. I know you can do it because I've done it. Now, some of you might feel that, and I want you to feel it, but some of you still might not believe it because your negativity is so strong, it will fight back what I'm saying. And you don't feel good right now. So the only way that you're going to get belief is you've got to get out and start running and training. And when you lose the first pound, then you've got something to build and base your belief off of. Because the mind will demand evidence. That's how the human mind works. Now, of course, I respect other people who whatever your faith is, right? I'm Christian faith, but whatever your faith is, I respect that. So if you believe in God and you're praying, you get there quicker. Because the things that have challenged me the most in my life, where no one believed in me, and I couldn't get my belief from human beings at a certain time, and videos, things weren't working, praying, genuine praying from the heart, has given, at least, and if anything, I find God gives me the strength to then go out, figure it out for myself. And that's a fair deal. So I figured this out, and I've been reflecting on it, but it's an ongoing thing. And I'm going to take something from what Les Brown said, because Les Brown helped me. I prayed to God. Les came to the rescue. I believe it first started with prayer. Les Brown said some things that helped me to go out and work my arse off. And then I believed in myself. And he said, and I heard him the other day, someone asked him this question. He said, it's a continuous process, I agree. You know, because believing in you, we see it. And I've been there, I've had this. We see high-level athletes who believe in themselves, they achieve greatness, but a couple of years later, they slip, they break down, and they get on drugs, they get overweight, they lose confidence, they don't have it no more, because they don't believe in themselves anymore, because they slipped up on the habits that got them the belief in the first place. So I learned also from everybody, and this has happened to me. So I believe belief is like anything, it's a muscle, like praying. Like my friend said to me, my friend, Christian friend said, you know, Jonathan, it's a muscle. Like what you've built of all your other areas of success, keep praying. I pray every day, and that you feel, we're getting somewhere here. I'm finding more gratitude. So attitude, gratitude, all these things encompass belief. But you can't just sit around telling yourself lies. And I still believe that, you know, when we pray to God, we still got to do our part. Because we won't have a good attitude towards life. We won't appreciate what God's given us or just what we have in our life. Whatever we believe, we won't feel it in our own heart. We'll be always empty looking for other people to fill us up, and that always ends badly. It doesn't end in the right way. But in saying that, it can actually end really well, because it can make you realize this isn't working. I've got to find belief. So running helps you to believe in yourself if you stick to it and you fall in love with it and you change that relationship. Like a friend of mine said a few years ago, she said to me, because she was a high-level runner for a country, it was amazing. I was so grateful to have a friendship with her. She said to me, you know, you've got to change that relationship, Jonathan, with being hard on yourself and hating it to loving it. And that's what I did, and it works. So, you know, belief, I think, comes from as well love, gratitude, all these things, all these are all sort of the foundations or the ways in which we believe in ourselves. But of course, you're never really going to believe it until you achieve it. So go out and achieve it. But through the process of seeing progress, you start to then think, I'm starting to believe it. I believe, you know. And then people say it's great. People have wrote to me and said, you're right, I didn't believe you at first. I didn't believe it could work for me, the advice you've given from your journey with social anxiety, or your program, or your video, or your paid, whatever. Paid program, free program, or your story, or someone you refer. I'm starting to believe it because I'm making progress. So belief comes from positive progress, but you've really got to challenge that unbelief. Because whilst you're trying to believe in yourself, there's always an aspect that don't believe in you, that don't want it. The negativity, that's the human struggle, that's self-doubt. Everyone has it. But some people get past it. So for me lately, my faith, my prayer, the running, the training, the gratitude, and, you know, so putting the pieces together. That's what great people do. Like, they help you to believe in yourself. And what did Les Brown say? It's such a beautiful thing. It's come from his experience. And I can confirm it through mine. He said, sometimes you've got to believe in other people's belief in yourself until your belief kicks in. That's been totally true in my experience. That's what great mentors do. You know, mentors have been there, done it, wore the t-shirt. So when they see talent in someone, they believe in them. It's genuine. But the student obviously won't believe in himself straight away. He believes the mentor if he trusts him and it's the right relationship. And then he goes through the training. That's the story. It's a beautiful story of the Karate Kid with Daniel's son. Daniel's son didn't believe in himself at the start. He liked Miyagi, trusted him, or maybe he didn't at the start. I'm not 100% on that. But he eventually grew to trust him. And then Miyagi taught him, he learned, and then he believed in himself and he achieved his dreams and he won the tournament and then he got the girl, met the girl of his dreams and achieved greatness. Everyone can do it, but it's hard work. It takes a lot of courage. And not everyone is willing to put that work in and exercise that courage, you know. When I was younger, I never ever thought I'd be here now, believing in myself, teaching, getting results, growing. I never believed it. Never did I believe it, because I was so insecure. I was so down on my luck. I was so depressed. I was so vulnerable, so down, so depressed, so negative in my beliefs. But, you know, pain and agony motivated me and and praying my heart out to God, please help me. At times I doubted my own faith. I thought God's given up on me. Everyone had. So I got in a bad place. So the running, if you stick with it, helps you to believe in yourself. So I'd say that's been my experience. That's what works for me. That's how I've taught clients. And it's also what I've learned from other people that I continue to watch and get inspired by. Anyone can do it. But yeah, it's all you, man. It's all about you comparing yourself to you and not anyone else. That's where people lose out. They start comparing. I bet a lot of people now, I say I lost 35 pounds and they say, oh, I've gained 35 pounds. It's like you've got to get out of that conversation. That's me, you're different. You might lose more. You might be bigger than I was, so might lose 100 pounds. You can do it. Set the goal, keep going. It's not a straight journey. Fall in love with it and you'll do it, all right? That's it for today.